Today I will be talking about what I think are the two most important units in financial literacy. So, what I think the two most important units are in financial literacy is the credit and debt unit and the small business slash ownership unit. So, the reason that I believe that the credit and debt unit is so important is because it taught us a lot of important credit card lingo, or not credit card lingo, but credit lingo, which can make which make me more confident going to the bank, knowing what they were talking about and what they meant when they talked about certain things that I didn't understand beforehand. It also taught us how to read credit card statements, which is very important in today's world because get we spend most of our money using debit cards and credit cards, so it's important to know how to read them, so we know that our money is going to the right spot and knowing where it's actually going. We also learn how to calculate APR and MPR, which is which although mostly it's done digitally or beforehand, it's important to know how to calculate APR and MPR to know how it actually works and how to know how to essentially how credit works and how debt works, and also how it also can help us calculate APR and MPR in case if a situation ever calls for it. And also taught us how to know if we're getting a good deal because we work so much with the APR and MPR percentages. Then now I know if, for example, like a 30% APR is awful, and something like a 3 to 5% is like a really good, decent rate to get. And we also learned how to be able to calculate when we will be able to pay off a debt depending on the APR slash MPR. So, two of the things that I remember from the credit card unit is how to calculate APR and MPR. So here I have it drawn out. I don't know if it's visible, but essentially it's principal. So it's the amount of the initial investment. So it's how much money I'm putting in, and then it's 1 plus the interest rate as a decimals. For example, if it's 50%, it's 0.15, or if it's 1%, it's 0.01 over the number of times it's compounded per year, and then on the outside as an exponent, it's going to be number of years times number of times it's compounded per year. And for MPR, it just be whatever we get from this divided into 12, so we can get how much we're going to use monthly. And also we also learned a bunch of important credit card lingo, not credit card, but credit lingo. So wage garnishment. So what that is that my part of my paycheck is going to be used to pay off a debt involuntarily, usually court mandated, or like what a finance charge is. So usually if I get something financed, they're going to make a little bit more money off of me because they're financing me, and that's the amount paid. So it's the difference between the amount borrowed and paid, basically. Or like what a prepayment privilege is, which is basically a privilege that a company would give me to pay off a debt early. That way I can just pay it off faster. Or what life insurance is. So for example, what it is like if I die or somebody in my family dies, it can a lot of a preset amount of money that I pay off to an insurance company will go to them so that they can still keep living a normal life. We also learn what a cosigner is. So basically, if I want to get something and it requires a good credit score, and let's say I don't have that, I can get somebody like my mom or my dad to cosign for me. And if for some reason I can't pay it, they're legally obligated to pay for it. But another one of the important units, I believe. Oh wait, but I believe that. But what really stuck out to me and helped me remember was when we did the APR and MPR. I finally felt like I understood math and that math was finally useful. So that's what really stuck out to me. And also like the credit lingo, as I said before, it helped me find, it helped me feel a lot more confident going to the bank, knowing what they actually were talking about when we talked about my bank account. And so what another thing that I believe the other unit that I think is important is a small business unit, because it taught us a lot of important life skills that we can use later in our life, either as a full time thing or a part time thing to supplement our income. And I think that's important because in our society we like to be self sufficient and start our own things. But I feel like I have an edge now because I know sort of what I'm talking about or what I need to start a business. So, for example, something we learned was what an MLM is and how they work. So, for example, I fall under somebody, somebody recruits me, and then I start selling stuff and I make money off of that. But I can also recruit other people and I make money off of them, but they also make money off of their own product. I make a small percentage of what they make. And we also remember when we did the small business actual project. I remember like looking at stuff from buying it in bulk and from more knockoff brands because usually if you buy it in bulk, they'll sell it cheaper per unit than if I were to buy it individually in smaller packages. Also, if it's off brand, it's usually cheaper. And I also remember the project because it was a lot of fun to do, and it got me thinking about starting my own business. And so I also remember a lot of the important lingo, a lot of the stuff I found interesting. So, for example, corporations can be recognized as entities, or that sole proprietorship is basically that me and the company are two in the same things, or like cooperative is so a lot of people own one company and it's all used to their benefit. So, for example, if we get a bunch of farmers together and we start a cooperative, they can start setting the prices or helping each other out by selling stuff at certain stuff or selling or growing stuff in certain seasons. But I also remember what I thought was also very important to stick out to me were the different parts of a company because it helped me understand if I were to start a company, what exactly I would need. So I would need stuff like human resources. So basically, they handle employee benefits, hiring and firing, and inter-employee conflicts, and also like customer services. What they do is they chase down leads, they find customers, and they solve customers' issues, giving them a good overall experience. So yeah, that's what I think are the two most important units in credit and in financial literacy: the credit and debt and small business ownership unit.